this one influencer that I was watching, she made a great point. I am no longer debating facts with people because at some point, people are starting to believe that opinions hold the same weight as facts. And that is not true because everyone can have an opinion, but not every opinion is a fact.
Maybe, just maybe, the Trump administration is the deep state.
You can be going through the worst type of sickness in your life and you can't pray it away.
Yeah,
we're
going to pray it off.
Yeah,
look here.
It don't work like that.
You know who really hasn't gotten the attention that they truly deserve? Nelly. Yeah, pull up a chair, everyone. Welcome. This is the Porch Light Theory, where we have unfiltered conversations, but sometimes it is necessary. I'm your host, Tristan, and joining me is my brother, Nick. Bro, how you feeling right now? We're on episode 3. We did it, man.
We made it. Episode 3. You know, they say if you can make it to 3 episodes, that shows consistency, and usually your pod can last. But like we said, we are not here to do numbers. We're here to show that we are on the right side of history of what we have to say. Because at the end of the day, when they look back, you want people to be able to say that you were loud in your support of what you were trying to ensure happens.
And we're on the right side of history.
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of people also get caught up in the fact that they're not seeing the results from the efforts that they put in. But sometimes you just have to realize, just like our ancestors and those that preceded us, we may not be able to reap what we have sown, but it is for those that come after us as well.
Most definitely. Before we continue, I do want to take a moment to share some small victories. Since we've launched the Porch Light Theory, we have our first 5 subscribers. So
big ups to the big 5.
Yeah, let's go ahead and clap it up for them. First 5 subscribers. So we appreciate it.
Definitely appreciate it.
Most definitely. So before you know it, that 5 is going to turn into 50. And then that 50 going to turn to 500.
Huh?
And that 500 gonna turn to 5,000.
Huh?
5,000 turn to 50,000.
Huh?
50,000 to 500,000.
Run it up on them then.
All the way up. All the way up.
We can't say too much then, that's copyright.
So we have no choice but to keep going. In the meantime, before we get into our first topic, I want you to rate, review, and subscribe because this helps people like you find us. We want to spread the message out here, okay? We don't want to be well known, but we want our presence to be felt. You feel me? I think that's a big difference when I say that.
It's a major one.
Let's go ahead and get into some business right now. All right. So one thing that has a lot of people on the far right pissed off or with their jaws dropped and eyebrows raised is the fact that the top administration officials said that the convicted sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein, had not blackmailed elite figures, kept a client list, or been murdered in prison. Did you hear that news, bro?
Hey, run it back one time for me, brother. Just so that way people can really put their arms around what you just detailed.
Yeah, so Jeffrey Epstein, billionaire, super billionaire, convicted of being a nasty man, okay? And his death has entertained a wide group of people who do not believe that he died by suicide. People like Dan Bongino, the FBI's deputy director, entertained that conspiracy theory. You've probably heard the term deep state many times from people on the far right side of this country, right? And at the end of the day, now that the files have, what's up?
Is it bad that whenever I hear them say the deep state, the intro to Black Streets, let me go deep, starts playing in my head every time I hear, yeah, we're talking about
deep
the deep state.
Y'all done turned the deep state into a conspiracy theory, and that name could have been a Quiet Storm session with Keith Sweat.
Because I just been sitting there, how deep is it? Childish, so I know.
Dan Bongino, he could be leaving because as of Friday, he didn't show up to work.
Brother said PTO means prepare the others. I'm tired of answering
Prepare,
questions.
yeah, for real, prepare the others.
I'm tired of answering these questions, dog.
So Dan Bongino, deputy FBI director, is considering leaving his job after a heated confrontation with Attorney General Pam Bondi over his frustration with how the Justice Department has handled the Jeffrey Epstein files, according to a person who has spoken with Bongino and a source familiar with the interactions that Bongino and FBI Director Kash Patel have had with Bondi.
How Bondi still has a job perplexes me to no end.
The lady is weird. So this Epstein didn't kill himself is a popular conspiracy theory amongst people on the far right. So your Tucker Carlson's, they entertain this. And Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, they've been entertaining this deep state. Jeffrey Epstein did not die by suicide. That has been their bread and butter. And so now right-wing influencers, they're shocked. And some people in the base, reports show that it's created some sort of distrust within the Trump administration, because there was once a table conversation that the president had with other administration officials, and a reporter asked him, "Hey, what about those Epstein files?" And the dude just flipped the script and was like, "Y'all still talking about that? What else y'all want to know about these files? Who cares about this creep? My boy, you were buddy with him."
He really did the Dave Chappelle oil, huh?
Oh,
You cooking?
what y'all cooking?
Oil,
Ain't nobody said nothing about no oil.
bro.
Ain't nobody said nothing about no Jeffrey Epstein
It's
file.
really insane that comedy, to a certain extent, has predicted our future. Following along with these conspiracy theories, I can see how those that are not well, I won't say emotionally intelligent enough to have to exercise a little bit of caution when taking everything that their political representatives have to say as the truth. And
Yeah.
they are so susceptible to misinformation. And I know you are big on it right now, this anti-intellectual movement as to going against science, going against what's real. And this one influencer that I was watching, she made a great point. I am no longer debating facts with people, because at some point, people are starting to believe that opinions hold the same weight as facts. And that is not true, because everyone can have an opinion, but not every opinion is a fact. And I think that social media has exacerbated the idea that just because I have the ability to go out there and say what I want and it just be out there and heard, and people don't understand that social media within itself is an echo chamber. Your algorithm and who you follow is tailored for you. You're not getting on social media to just look at stuff you don't like all day, unless that's what your algorithm is. It's just stuff that triggers you all day. That's on you. But yeah, people just get insulated into their own bubble. And I think these conspiracy theories that the far right are pushing right now, especially along with this Epstein angle, I think it's probably going to cause that a further rift with the base, which I think you're about to definitely get into.
Oh yeah. I say this with caution to the people who entertain this MAGA crowd, or that MAGA base that subscribe to these conspiracy theories. Maybe, just maybe, the Trump administration is the deep state. Whatever that you think conjured up that's happening in the White House, maybe that's them.
Whoa!
Because you got a bunch of
how dare you talk about their orange poppy like that?
I'm sorry, because you have a bunch of billionaires working in this administration, and they're not doing anything for the people. They're not doing anything for the proletariat.
We talked
They're
about it in
benefiting
the one.
themselves. We are literally experiencing a kleptocracy.
We talked about it in the last episode. The reason why we are talking about these things is because we're in a place to where, yes, it's going to affect us, but to the extent that it'll affect us, we can live with that. Not everyone is privileged enough to be able to do that. And that's why you have to speak out against it. I have family members. I have friends with family members. I have coworkers that are going to be very adversely affected by all these changes that are happening, and also with the direction this administration is going in, where they seem to have no regard for the regular checks and balances that are there, especially when they have a majority in the Senate and the House as well that are not going to check them. They have a majority in the Supreme Court as well that is just leaving the door open for them to do whatever they want, because it will never matter if there is real opposition against the other with the other three, because it's still 3-6. Like
Is it
it,
not
it, it it's
clicking?
it's getting scary. It really is, and it's not even to fear monger, but this is stuff we have to be aware about, and it goes back to what we have talked about previously. This is not a time when we can say this is not our fight.
Absolutely not. We
We
got to
can't.
lock in.
And I
So,
know we're still going into it further with the Epstein stuff, but this
yeah,
is indicative of more things to come if they think that they can just have something so blatant in front of you that they ran on for so long. It was such a major point
years.
for them. They ran on it for years. This happened when it was his first term. This stuff happened under his first term, and there was no questions regarding it. But they kept on pushing it as if this was something that was just going to come out and just shock the world. For you to have presented it this way, and then for it to just be, oh, yeah, it was nothing,
Sorry.
and you just think your base is supposed to say, oh yeah, I guess it was nothing. You have
Of course not.
Alex Jones, you have Tommy Lauren and all them just
Tommy Linguini.
seething. Yeah, like just going crazy. I hate that she's from Texas. Like, yeah, you're a bad representation of us.
Get out of here.
Ugh. And she's from like our area, and I don't
No way.
yeah.
The devil is a lie. It's what I've said in episode 1. It takes one to do it, and it takes one to let them.
Mm.
It takes one person to entertain and feed the flame of a conspiracy theory, and it takes another to allow it to happen. Right after this whole Epstein files drama happened, the White House said it's committed to transparency. So obviously that's going to piss off right-wing influencers, because now they're starting to think this is a cover-up. But let me tell you something. This whole deep state thing is not grounded in reality. This is where it gets really interesting. There is this researcher who goes by Abby Richards. She deliberately researches misinformation and conspiracy theories, and she created a conspiracy theory chart back in 2021 when a lot of misinformation and disinformation was spreading rapidly. So we have 5 layers to the conspiracy theory chart, where the actual conspiracies start from the bottom, but the ones that are uncontrollable are at the very top. Okay. So we do have actual conspiracies that happen in this country. For example, Watergate, that really happened. Okay. Big Tobacco, they played a role in not telling consumers that cigarettes causes cancer. That really happened. But then we get to the next level where people have questions, like Jeffrey Epstein's, untimely death, or UFOs, Area 51. We're stepping into conspiracy theories, but we have questions. It's essentially harmless, okay? But then we start going into reality denial. That's level 3. So these are some of examples of denying reality. Tupac is alive. Or this is a good one. We are the real Jews. Black folks are the real Jews.
I'm not gonna say that. I know who you talk. I know which group you're talking about.
The Hebrew Israelites? Yeah. Yeah. They're a cult, by the way.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you after what we call them.
Nick and I, we know someone who's part of the Hebrew Israelite group. They've been in it for a while. They subscribe to that Hebrew Israelite stuff. I mean, they absorb it like a sponge.
Tassels and all.
The shiki and all that. So yeah, that is denying reality. No, we are not the real Jews. We're Black Americans. Stop it. Why you want to be another oppressed group? After denying reality, We have science denial. This is where it gets dangerous. So here's some
this is my
examples.
favorite one. This is my favorite
Yeah,
one.
this is where it gets dangerous. Like essential oils can be a cure to whatever sickness or illness that you are experiencing, or global warming is a hoax, or the chemtrails, they're poisoning our bodies. You're denying science. You are deliberately denying or ignoring people who are experts at whatever topic or situation that is happening. You have stepped into anti-intellectualism.
My favorite one, and I can't stand it because there's been so many times where I've just been out, it doesn't matter where I am, and I have to have
Hmm.
this conversation, and it's 2025. We should not be having this conversation. If it is the, if it is Beyonce's 2025, and you still think that the world is flat,
It's funny in cartoons.
we gotta have a real discussion about how you are a viable adult in this modern time. Because by every metric, by every measurement, by every standard, for you to believe that, then you have to not want to use things like your phone that uses gyroscopes based off of the idea that the world is round. You have to not want to ride in your car that was built with the idea of how to utilize physics on a round earth. There are so many things that you have to deny before getting to the idea that the earth is flat. But for you to think that the earth is flat but still utilize all these other resources and still do all these other things makes absolutely no sense. Like for me, if I thought the world was flat, I was like, I'm not gonna get on a plane. They use measurements and computers that think that the world is round. That goes against what I believe. That's how I know if you're either a grifter or you're just dumb. But I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to go on a tangent on that. I just
No, no,
can't
no,
stand.
no.
I can't stand flat
Let them
Earth
let them
conspiracy
cook. Let them
because
cook.
that Dunning-Kruger effect is in place so much when it comes to be a flat earther. Oh my goodness, like. And it's infuriating because the confidence in which they have to do that. Like there's been, I can't remember his name. I think it's Flat Earth Dave. He's been arguing with ChatGPT consistently. Like he gets like irate with ChatGPT when it refuses his things about, for one, I can't stand flat earthers. They don't understand the idea of space as a vacuum because they hear the vacuum of space and think it means your Swiffer or whatever is in the back to actually vacuum things up. They think that's what a vacuum is. And it just baffles me because they have such confidence in what they believe, but such a lacking understanding of just basic physics or even science in general to be able to come up with these. That was a long tangent, but still, I cannot stand flat earthers because they are such hypocrites. For you to be a flat earther, you have to deny so many aspects of your life that you utilize on a day-to-day basis to be able to substantiate what you believe. But you don't do that because obviously you wouldn't have the things that you have in front of you if the earth was flat. Like it just baffles me. Uh, mm, mm.
NASA.gov. It's free for everyone.
No, that's propaganda. How come we've never seen the world from anything outside of a CGI rendering? Huh? How come I can see the ISS from this point, but I can't see certain planes and all that because they don't understand distance, they don't understand mileage, they don't understand how truly small we are on this huge planet. They really don't understand that you could be the biggest person in the world. You are still a a microorganism in a petri dish of something you can't even understand or even see to the point that that magnification would baffle you. Like you don't understand how small and insignificant we are on this earth.
Before we get to that last level of the conspiracy theory chart, experts say if a theory is not falsifiable, it's not worth debating.
It goes to what was it, Neil deGrasse Tyson said it best. Why would I debate a flat earther? Because you're putting the onus on me to disprove what you don't believe. Why would I do that? The onus should be on you to disprove what has been proven over so many years to me. And I hate that with conspiracy theories because they basically they come up with a surface level understanding and then just throw it onto you and say, see, now tell me I'm wrong. No, you're wrong because
Yeah.
this is a fact. Nope. I don't think that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not about to go back
Again,
and forth with you.
another thing that experts say is that a theory has a structure that allows for dispositive evidence. So it could be proven wrong someday. That's fair. But I'm not going to argue with someone who can't even bring up the evidence to their own claim, which leads me to my fifth point when it comes to this conspiracy theory chart. Once you deny science, you are officially detached from reality because after that, you will believe anything at this point. So, detached from reality is also known as the anti Semitic point of no return. So, here are some examples of conspiracy theories that are detached from reality: QAnon, the deep state, my favorite, Jews are taking over the world. Stop. None of that is happening. Here's another conspiracy theory that's detached from reality: the Great Replacement. You heard it when they were wearing those white polos, khaki pants with the tiki
And
torches.
it's all based off of that random. So it was a study done. It was peer reviewed, but at the same time, they're making it seem like it's just a point of emphasis right now. They heard that one study about by 2050 that white people would no longer be the majority in America. And that just sent them up a flagpole like crazy. They're like, "Oh my gosh, that can't be." Well,
We gotta
we're
preserve the white race.
like it's nothing. There's no issue with having pride within your race, your culture, and all that. But
Absolutely.
for for that to turn into a point of we need to systematically ensure that we remain as the majority, that speaks to a deeper, more entrenched issue that is within those people, because no, by no means are we painting all people with that same brush.
You are entertaining white supremacy. You're entertaining anti-Semitism. You're entertaining anti-blackness. That's problematic because there are people in positions of power who subscribe to these conspiracy theories. For example, Marjorie Taylor Greene once said that there were Jewish space lasers.
But to that same extent, let's think about it to where we may get canceled for this, but
By
how
who?
how interwoven is white supremacy truly into American history? Is there really American history without white supremacy at any point? Because when you think about how we were founded and also how minorities were viewed during that time of our founding as well, the sentiments that were carried along through generations from the founding of this country through slavery, through the industrial area, through the Great Depression and all that. We
Mhm.
have to remember that it's not that long ago that our people were slaves. It was not that long ago that the Civil Rights Act had to be enacted. It was not that long ago that segregation was still low key enforced in certain parts of the South, even when they told people they to no longer do it. We have to remember that it's not that long ago that there were people that held very, very vitriolic feelings towards minorities, and they were people in power. They were people. There were so many old pictures of KKK rallies where you would see sheriffs, you would see judges, you would see doctors, you would see so many people that were entrenched in the community, and you expect us to believe that they passed a law one day and all those people let go of all those feelings? Like, no, all they did was force them to go start teaching it in their households and start holding it to be more secret and find different ways to do it. And I say all that to say that the way that they're doing things and going about things has set us up down a very slippery slope. And I think with the whole Epstein thing, and then also them empowering a base that is anti-intellectual, anti-science, but also anti-research. And we went into that a little bit about how they're so susceptible to things like during the 2020 election, Facebook was terrible. 2016 election, Facebook was terrible for information. Like even till this day, let's just push it to pop culture. Do you know how much misinformation you just see on there where they just randomly like you remember on in the early Twitter days where they just attribute a random quote and put it on a celebrity as if they said it and like it was something deep. It's like that
Yeah.
person never
Hey,
said
those are
that.
the days back in Twitter. Those are the days on Twitter. It was funny.
Exactly,
It,
because it was nothing serious, but Facebook is taking that to a fool because guess what? Your aunts and uncles, they may not be they weren't around for the internet like us. We're fully aware that you can fake stuff on the internet, but then you have to think about back then. They had to trust their media. They had to trust what they saw on TV, what they heard on the radio, what they got in the newspaper. So they're automatically trained to believe that if this is published, it has to be true. And that is scary.
there were actual reports of Russians interfering with our elections, but they were spreading mis and disinformation all throughout Facebook. Those are your aunties, your uncles. That's your grandpa and grandma. That's them getting convinced what's happening. And now it's metastasizing. It's getting worse, bro,
Mhm.
because now we're seeing AI videos.
Oh my goodness. I think AI is going, as much as we can tell it's AI, I feel
It,
bad for those because
it's getting bad.
whenever I get on Facebook and you see those AI videos and people like, they'll be like the funny ones where people just laughing and they're making like jokes and all that.
Hmm.
I do think it is kind of scary that AI can do black sense very well. But
That
besides
yes,
that,
whoa,
besides
impressive but
that,
problematic.
when you go into like the comments and all that and you start seeing like there's people that think that this is real and it's scary because all they need is a picture of you and they can recreate videos of you doing anything and that's going into a deeper side of it, but yeah, I do think that there needs to be some type of regulation around AI and its use.
Absolutely. It's damaging our water sources.
Uh-huh.
It's a source of misinformation, and you have lawmakers who are dragging their feet in making sure that there are some steps or some protective regulations to make sure that we keep AI in check. It's already intertwined. It's here to stay. AI is here to stay at
It's
this
not going
point.
anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. But it's up to people like you and me to be responsible with AI.
There's too much money
And
in it right now.
yeah, so you have to be careful when you're absorbing this kind of media. So when you see something online, before you even comment, like, I need you to challenge your thinking. If someone makes a claim, challenge it. Where did you get that? Show me. Pull
and it
up the
goes
article right
and it,
now.
it goes back to what I said earlier. Your algorithm is already tailored to what you believe and perceive and like. That's why you
You're
like
already in the
so
echo
much
chamber.
stuff. You're already creating that echo chamber for yourself. So you have to ensure that you're tailoring your algorithm to at least have some credibility to it, because that's a big thing about it. We will never sit here and gatekeep the idea of knowledge and thinking that we know better than anyone. We don't. The only thing that we can say is that we utilize what we learn in our times in college and as what we've learned in our career fields as well, is how to properly vet a source. That is what I feel every American should learn, especially now in this disinformation time, where you need to properly understand that not every news article is a credible article. Not every
Yes.
blog post is credible. Not every post you see on a profile with a check is something that's viable and credible. You need to actually challenge some of these things and actually find it. That's why utilizing public resources like the library. Hey, guess what? You don't even have to physically go there anymore. You can actually utilize some of these library databases online. You can
Get a
still
library card.
utilize these mediums to be able to still gain knowledge outside of just what you search on the internet. Because guess what? There's misinformation on the internet. There's misinformation in books as well. We're not saying that just you have to go read a hard copy of something to have actually have a credible source. But look into what peer-reviewed articles are. Look into what actually is credible and look what is a primary source. And don't always be so prone to believe a secondary source just because it already aligns with what you were thinking.
Navigating information is like a balance beam because
Hmm.
it's easy to slip into the pipeline, right? And the
Yes.
entrance to that pipeline is so wide because there are right-wing grifters and personalities who are quick to grab you and pull you down. And it's going to be very difficult for you to deprogram or and actually accept reality as a fact.
I don't like talking about the dead, but it goes into those that were big Kevin Samuel followers, that are big Fresh and Fit followers, and all those. For these influencers that they grift by essentially saying things that make sense on a surface level and then following it up with just something so far out of hand. And it's like, well, he's credible because, he said that one thing that makes sense, like, hey, you should go to the gym, you should take care of yourself, you should, practice healthy eating. Well, duh.
It starts off like that. It starts off innocent.
Yeah, it
It
starts
starts
off like
off
that.
with, yeah, it starts off with go to the gym, get your body right, work on yourself. Don't worry about anything else. And then
Get six
they'll
figures, be a high value
yeah,
man.
and it'll, but they'll slip. They'll do. It's like a Trojan horse. They'll say something
Mm, mm.
where you miss it. They might say keep your body intact, stop smoking. Um, Women don't deserve rights, and make sure you're running 5 miles,
And you're just
every
like, yeah,
2 to 3 weeks. And it's
yeah,
like
you
wait
know
wait wait
what, you're
wait.
right.
It's like wait. What'd you say about women? Hold
And
on.
then you got Myron Gaines out there now because they done got demonetized on almost every platform. And so
Hmm.
now you see him out there doing the Charlie Kirk and all that, going to college campuses and being like, prove me wrong and all that. And I, he's just such, it goes back to what you said about the whole debate thing. I just don't have the energy to engage with someone that's having a bad faith argument. Because if you truly believe something, okay, we can have a genuine discussion about that. But if I know that you don't believe it and you're just pushing this just to push a narrative or just to do whatever, I'm not engaging. Yeah, we don't we in our 30s, bro. We don't have the time or the energy to engage with that stuff anymore.
If I'm going to debate with you, it's because I'm trying to plant a seed. I'm not trying to change your perspective right then and there. It's going to take some time for you to deprogram that type of thinking. You know what
Hmm.
I mean?
Speaking of
You got
folding,
to be careful. You got to be
sp-
careful.
speaking of
Science denial
folding,
can lead you to that point of no return. So you know what? You are fine all the way up to reality denial to an extent. You're fine. But as soon as you start saying, "Oh, I'm just gonna give my son some vitamins, vitamin berries," he over here coughing a lung out.
oh, that goes into a
Take that,
deeper conversation that we used
yeah.
to have about the whole about certain parts of religion that, that if you can be going through the worst type of sickness in your life and you can't
I'm a
pray it
pray.
away,
Yeah,
you
we
need
we're gonna
actions.
pray it off.
Yeah,
Look here,
it don't work like that.
look here. This might sound controversial, so I'm saying it with some caution. God will let you go through whatever it is that you're going through if you don't put in the work. You can
And we
pray
say
all
that
you want.
and we say
You
this
can
as
pray all you
two
want.
Christian men.
Yeah, you can pray all you want. But what you do after that prayer counts as well. You know what I'm
Counsel
saying? So
more
you
than the
can,
prayer.
yeah, you can pray, praise God, hallelujah. That's wonderful. But what are you going to do after you say that prayer? What are you going to put some action into that?
Like the preachers say, what you gonna do when you leave here? You sanctified for these hour, 2 hours, however long you're in church, but what you gonna do when you leave here?
You got to be responsible. You can't just pray away, this type of stuff. You have to actually apply yourself.
You have
Think,
to go vote.
challenge
You have
yourself.
to
And,
challenge yourself.
yeah, and like let's be real, it can be uncomfortable to to apply yourself mentally.
Not
It
just
can be
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable.
It takes energy. It takes effort because I think a lot of people, especially on that side, that have gone down that rabbit hole, there are a lot of blue collar workers. So when it comes to that, I also understand that your average American may not have the mental capacity or energy to want to keep up with politics, to want to have to deal with all that because they have to keep up with a family. They have to make sure that they have enough energy to go provide for that family. They have to keep up with their kids, their own family members, and so many other things. There's so many factors that goes into every American's everyday life that It's easy for these politicians to get away with stuff because they know that the majority of Americans aren't paying attention to what they do on a day-to-day basis, especially on the local basis. Like a lot of people, I would say it's probably closer to I would say around 60 to 50% of every local population does not keep up with their local politics.
You need to know who's your local council person, who's your mayor, who's your county commissioner, who's your state representative, your U.S. representative. You know, you are a constituent at the end of the day. You can't just put yourself in this hole where you don't know what's going on. Like we said in the previous episode, I know people who did not vote because they're too busy trying to survive.
And I can't, as much as I've held it against people, I still do. I won't say that. I hold it against people that did not vote and chose not to vote. Like it's different if you are like a oil field worker and you got put out and don't have no ability to get back to your voting area and all that. Okay, there are there are circumstances that ensure that that can't happen. But if you actively just sat there and said, "Well, I'm not going to vote," it's like why? So many people died for this right. So many people fought for this right, and for you to sit there and just be, oh, well, I don't need to vote. It's not going to matter. Well, yeah, it's not going to matter if there is a small sect. Let's say if there's what is it 30 million people in Texas or something like that around there. I don't know, whatever that amount is. Let's just say therefore is a flat million people. If only 10% of those people that said they didn't vote wanted to vote, that could have shifted so many things. Like people don't even look at our races like that to understand that it's by the margins. Like Ted Cruz has stayed in power by this much so many times.
I'm 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 shocked, and at the same time, I'm kind of impressed on how he has stayed in office this long. Um, I mean,
Makes no sense.
I thought Beto O'Rourke was going to be a game winner.
Oh no, I knew he lost it.
Especially after Cruz pulled that stunt trying to go to Cancun
No,
when my family was freezing.
oh yeah, I fully agree. But
I didn't forget that.
Do you know what sold? Do you know what put Beto in the coffin?
Tell me.
His position on guns. If he
Hey, that
never
Second
mentioned
Amendment gonna get you caught up, man.
if he
Sheesh.
never mentioned anything about guns, he probably would have won. Because so many people, when I was in East Texas, they liked his stance on weed. They liked his stance on
That man
business.
traveled to almost every county in Texas. I don't know if y'all knew
And
that.
I'm telling you, it's because if he didn't mention the gun thing, he would have been fine. I
That
say
man
that as
had
a
a movement.
I say that as a gun owner myself. I know he messed up when he said that. I get where he was coming from. I get what he was trying to do. But he should have known the people in Texas were not going to hear that. Like that was not the political climate to try to mention that. And I just think that's where his campaign probably let him down. Just because they should have said, let's not broach the gun subject. Let's just say let's find a way to say if to basically bolster the Second Amendment to the extent that it is what it is. We will address it once I come in office. He could have basically just said that because he has so many good talking points, but I just knew if he wanted to flip those people that he needed to end up winning, the gun topic did him in. Because he was not going to flip those we both went to a school in East Texas.
Yeah,
The second he mentioned
deep
anything
red
about
counties.
guns, he lost every single person out there. And we're not going to
Now,
talk about how they gerrymander those red lines. Oh my goodness.
We can talk about gerrymandering for another episode. Real quick, since we were on the topic of Ted Cruz, Cancun Cruz, Senate
Cancun is
candidate Colin
beautiful.
Allred. Oh yeah, you went there not so long ago as well. So,
Cancun is beautiful. I want to go
um,
back. We got to go, bro. We doing all inclusive for sure.
Cruz's second opponent,
Uh,
Colin
that
Allred,
I want
he's
him to
running
win.
again.
I want him to win so bad. He is a Marine. No, he's a veteran, former football. Wait, no, he's former football player.
Hmm. Former football player, and he serves as a U.S. representative from Texas'
Yes,
32nd congressional district since 2019. So, pay attention to what's happening with your,
I
in
voted
your
for all red.
politics. I would have too. Sometimes your vote means best chance of survival. You have to be careful when you are absorbing information because there are right-wing personalities who
Mhm.
are watching, and they will add more fuel to a flame that doesn't need to spread any further. They're very strategic, and
Mhm.
you can't fall for the okey doke.
Like this is a targeted attack. This is not just random. These people are smart. Like as much as we think that they're playing dumb, they are. They are fully aware of what they're doing. Like well, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. There are some people over there that are genuinely that dumb.
Who are straight up dumb.
But no, these people know
Lauren
exactly
Boebert,
what they're doing. Can't stand that woman.
Marjorie Taylor Greene,
I
straight up
can't.
dumb.
You know that purple Frankenstein monster that has a cereal?
Mm-mm. Hold on, let me look it up.
It's like a purple Frankenstein monster. It's like when we were kids, it had like a cartoon cereal thing with it. Purple Frankenstein cereal monster.
Yeah, we had like Count Chocula, Frankenberry.
Frankenberry.
That's what it's
Okay.
called. Frankenberry.
That Republican is the one that I think is completely dumb. Matt Gaetz. Yes, looks like that guy. He looks like
Oh, he's not
Frankenberry.
even in office anymore. He's not even
Good,
in office.
because Matt Gaetz looks like Frankenberry to me.
I think he's on like One American Network or whatever.
Oh,
OAN.
he went to ugh.
He's on those far right wing TV channels and whatnot.
Like that one guy Clay Travis that no one can stand in the news media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can't
Yep.
stand that guy.
All right, bro. I do want to bring up Nelly real quick because it looks like I've developed another one-sided beef with another celebrity who will never get to know me. But why not just roast him anyway? You know how Snoop Dogg got a lot of slack for performing or like doing anything with President Trump in the White House? Same
I
thing
don't
with
like where
Rick
this
Ross.
is going.
Yeah.
I don't like where this is going.
You know who really hasn't?
I don't like where
You know
this is
who-
going.
You know who really hasn't gotten a lot of hate?
You know what really
I
grinds
won't even
my
say hate.
gears?
You know who really hasn't gotten the attention that they truly deserve?
Oh,
Nelly.
I knew it. I knew it. Welcome to Nellyville.
That man is low key MAGA. He don't want to admit it though. So this dude, he's going off the cuff right now. This is my beef with him. Y'all ready? He agreed to perform for Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saying this is such an honor. I'm not endorsing him. It doesn't matter, who's in the White House. He won. It's just an honor to show up to the White House. Sir, you being there is an endorsement.
Very much an endorsement. You took his money.
It
that means
very
you
much is an
approve
endorsement.
For what he is.
Absolutely. You're co-signing.
Just like you
You're
have
co-signing
artists
it.
who were not willing to perform in Philadelphia this past week and weekend because of the strikes that are going on in their public services.
LL Cool J said, I'm not doing that. He's a
what
union
was it?
man.
Yeah, exactly. Multiple artists pulled out for the simple fact that you accepting their money is an endorsement, because for you to take money from someone that is doing things to obviously impact communities that you are part of, you say it up and down on your show with Ashanti.
That poor woman. Before we talk about Ashanti real quick, because I did
You know she
watch-
blocked me on Twitter, right?
What? What did you
Yes.
say?
I don't remember what happened back then, but like in the early 2010s, she was on a blocking spree. Like if you didn't have to mention her. If you just put her name in a tweet, because all I put was, because I remember it was back when I can't say the Twitter name now, but back I think it was our sophomore year. I was like, wow, because we were doing like an old school day in our dorm where we were watching all the videos, and I tweeted like, oh, Ashanti is one of the most beautiful artists we've ever had. Blocked.
Second. What?
Blocked.
That's new to me, bro.
Because we'll go do a deep dive after this. But there was a time where Ashanti's page or whoever was running it, if she was mentioned in anything in those early 2010s, she was blocking everyone. I don't know what happened.
I did watch an episode. I watched I think at least 2 episodes with my shorty, right? Because she was interested in the show. And this is where it gets interesting about him performing for Trump. He's saying it's an honor, but his mother, Nelly's own mother, was like, This this is a big deal. And she explained how his family was involved in local civil rights movements. Ashanti, she's like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" He made his decision that same episode. It wasn't, I'm going to think on this 24 or 48 hours in advance. He made that decision that day. And so he was acting all shocked when he found out that he and his wife, Ashanti, got some heat for that. And I was like, of course Ashanti's going to get some heat for the decision that you made because you represent the both of y'all now. So now they think Ashanti is supporting your decision. And it looked like she wasn't really rocking with it. Because when a producer asked her, are you really for Nelly performing at the White House or performing for President Trump? And she was like, no comment. It's blatantly obvious that she doesn't like the idea. Now that we brought up Ashanti, not only is this man MAGA, he also talks smack about VP Harris, criticizing her for marrying a white man and locking up black men during her time as a district attorney. Saying, oh, yeah, why y'all on my case? I'm the one that married a black woman. She married a white man. Oh my gosh.
And
man.
it goes back to what we just said about misinformation and disinformation. Because that whole thing about her locking up black men and all that, they make it seem as if she just went out
Straight up
personally
Target.
in a SWAT vest and just was knocking down doors, just rounding up black men off the street. No,
You there, black man. Get over here right now. Hands behind your head. Lock him
what
up.
people are perceiving as quote unquote her locking them up is when she was presiding over that area, the amount of arrests for the actual crimes that were committed. It wasn't that people were just getting rounded up doing nothing like they're doing with these ICE raids. People actually did things and
They
were
were actually committing
persecuted
crime.
for them. We're not sitting here saying she was out there locking up innocent people, and by no means is our criminal justice system perfect. But for people to be framing it in that way, as if she was personally out there just targeting black men, is a complete misrepresentation of the facts. And the fact that people believe that just because it's easier to believe that based upon numbers that people present, because you can show the amount of arrests that happened when she was presiding over that area. You can show all these numbers, but they don't understand that it's not like she's sitting there adjudicating every single one of them. It's not like she's sitting there busting down doors like, hey, I'm taking this black guy with me. He didn't do anything, but I'm taking him. Like, it's just so far moved from what reality really is, and that comes from not just us being in the careers that we are and having understanding of how systems work, but just knowing that people have been so Hollywood brained out to think that there's just this extreme way that business is carried out on a day-to-day basis, and that's just not how it is. Like Nelly is a cultural icon, and also we'll talk about that at a different point, because when I said Angel Reese is an icon, I got so much pushback on social media because people don't understand what an icon truly is. But anyway, Nelly is a cultural icon, but he is so wrong for how he went about that MAGA stuff and how he went and performed. But also, I feel he is very wrong about how he goes about relationships. And that'll probably go into our next episode about how I'm so tired of the discourse between black podcasts when it comes to the subject of relationships.
Yeah,
I so hate the discourse. I so hate our discourse.
Y'all gotta stop with that 50-50 bullshit.
Oh my goodness. I pray that we left the 50-50 conversations in 2024.
Folks are still bringing it up. They want to bring up the table and the 50-50. Enough.
Well, yeah, we have
So
so many other things that we could talk about. Like for the fact that I'm so tired of hearing boots on the ground. If I hear where them fans at one more time at another function, I was where them fans at out after I left Cancun, and I went during Juneteenth. I love our people. I do. We have so many better trail ride songs. We got so many better line dancing songs than that. There is so many more. Like that. There's so much more to that side of our culture, but now everyone, oh my goodness, I can't stand TikTok for making that. I love the artists. I
you're
love that the
overstimulated with those
artists.
fans.
Yes, I love that the artists made it big because they deserve it. They really do. They've
Yes.
been grinding hard their whole career. But I'm so tired of hearing that song. So I'm so tired of hearing that song.
You got Beyonce performing that song. Y'all got her singing where them fans at. Speaking of fans, fans are not happy about how Nelly is treating Ashanti. Ashanti is essentially a single married woman, and she's a first-time mother. Bro, this man said on the show that he does not want anything to do with this child. This is Ashanti's first child. He does not want anything to do with the child until the child is ready to communicate with him. So he ain't gonna change no diapers. He's not gonna attend to the baby's needs when when
You think
he's
they ain't had this
crying.
conversation before they got married?
She don't want to stay in St. Louis. She want to live in New York where she has more resources.
You think she didn't know that this is what he wanted to do prior to getting married?
Look,
I
that
promise you,
man
this
is
man did not spring this on her. I promise you, if you asked him before they got together, after they got together, while they're together, this has always been his plan. He comes from the generation of people, of men especially, that have believed that they are the main character of their lives. So women have to capitulate to what they want. That man, when he met Ashanti, he always envisioned she gonna have to, for her to be with me, she gonna have to live the lifestyle I want to live.
Nelly is 50 with grown children.
Like y'all know these men ain't nothing. Y'all know these men are stuck in their ways, and y'all still choose to go after them. Like, okay, I feel for you, but I'm not gonna feel too bad for you. Like you knew who this man was.
You empathize. Or
I empathize,
sympathize.
but at the same
Yeah,
time,
you
as long,
empathize.
but yeah, she choosing to deal with that. She chose to be with him.
This is my
She's Ashanti. She could have had anyone.
this is my assessment of Nelly and Ashanti so far. Nelly is a big fish in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's a big fish in a small pond in St. Louis.
He's Bun B of
But
St. Louis.
yeah, but if he relocates to New York with Ashanti,
Small fish,
then
big
he's a
pond.
small fish. He will turn into
Well, I won't say that.
Ashanti's
I
husband.
won't say that.
No, he'll be a small fish. He would
no,
be.
he would still be. All right,
Because Ashanti is big. Ashanti is big in New York
all right,
compared to St. Louis.
But what we not finna do is sit here and act like Nelly ain't Nelly in every single state.
Right.
Nelly is
And
still Nelly,
I'm not
regardless
denying that.
he's in Missouri or in New York.
I'm not denying that. But his main character energy is in St. Louis.
Yeah, true.
That's
I'll
where
give you that.
that's where he's aura farming. That's where he's getting all of his
That's where all
residuals
his
and
people
whatnot.
at. That's where all his family
Yeah.
is. That's
But
where he is comfortable.
But all of his children are grown, and Ashanti is saying,
all
"Yo,
his kids
I
are
need
grown.
help." Yeah, all his kids are grown. Ashanti is saying, "I need help. This is my first time being a mother. I would love to stay in New York." And if he relocates to New York, then he is Ashanti's husband.
I wouldn't
not,
say that.
Not
I
not
wouldn't say
Nelly's Saint Lunatics. You know what I'm saying?
I would say he's still Nelly. He just doesn't have that appeal because he's no longer the big fish. He's probably closer to a medium fish in the New York market. He's not going to be a
local.
big player. He's going to be more of, hey, Nelly's in the building. Hey, you see Nelly? He's going to be like, hey, pop out and do these club appearances type thing, more so than an intricate part of the community. So, yeah, I can see where if you have a huge ego, that can be a hit. But if you were doing it for your newborn child, it would be like, all right, my wife feels more comfortable and more supported out here. Let me go do what I have to do that because my business is not affected by where I stay.
I was talking to my shorty about it, and I said, you know what? This is probably why older women say they do not date men around their age. Because
that
they're
generation is tainted. That whole generation is tainted.
they cooked.
No, they
They're
attain it. They I was just talking about it earlier today that there is a generation of men that don't understand that were really pushing it to us as well. And you may not agree with me on this one. That
Shoot.
whole, oh, I ain't paying for it. Oh, I ain't got to pay for it. You did it's like you paying for it in certain ways. You just don't know which way you paying for it. You just got to find whichever way is palpable and comfortable for to you. But that he is a part of that generation that basically were like, nah, the I'm first, the woman gotta come second to me type generation. And his actions are very indicative of
That
that.
traditional mindset.
But I go back to what my previous statement was. She knew everything. She knew he thought like this. She knew good and well he thought like this. She didn't marry that man thinking that he was gonna change. Or if she did, that's why she damn near 50 and was still single.
I mean, did you
Because
see the backlash that Tracy Ellis Ross got when she said that she's not dating men around her age? She's 52, and she said that she's dating a younger man, and she
yeah,
said a lot of men my age are steeped into toxic masculinity, and that just set off a whole bunch of folks were like, well, you know how that old tirade thing where when a man gets rejected, they go, well fuck it in.
hmm,
Dusty ass, dirty. They just start bashing you as soon as you get rejected. That's what that's what I saw in comment sections and people posting on social media. I mean, just trashing this
a
woman.
hit dog on holler because
And you must be the dog. You must be the
really,
dog.
and we could probably cut it out after it, but it's because they key in on the semantic stuff about it. All they heard was masculinity, and they think it's a front and an attack on the idea of being masculine and being a male. It's not. The idea of toxic masculinity is the fact that you cannot express yourself typically because typically masculinity has always been aligned with being stoic, being someone that is not prone to being susceptible to their emotions and reacting in certain emotional ways, not recognizing emotions in others as well, but also putting things to the side to just be able to push through. And that is toxic because at the end of the day, you are putting aside your own personal growth, your own personal awareness of yourself just to be able to fit a mold that I don't even want to say was successful in when it was rampant, but has never truly been beneficial to the nuclear family that everyone wants to push and achieve for. And it makes absolutely zero sense that when you but it also goes back to that lack of emotional intelligence, the anti-intellectual movement, the idea that anything that makes you uncomfortable, I'm not willing to engage with.
Patriarchy and toxic masculinity are both harmful to you and me, to men and women.
Yeah.
Like you said, you like how toxic masculinity or patriarchy, it teaches you to be stoic, it teaches you to bottle in your emotions, to hold it in. That's not good for you and me because sooner or later you're going to find that one person that's going to pop and everyone's going to suffer for it. We've seen it time and time again. That's why women are saying that there is a femicide that's happening. That's why you're seeing videos of men, surveillance videos of men randomly hitting a woman. Or I saw this one video on social media where this lady, she's on a motorcycle, dude's trying to holler at her. She straight up tell him, no, no thanks, I'm good, I'm straight. And the dude splashes water in her face.
Mm-hmm.
That's dangerous.
We may have to save this. Oh, all right, let's actually save this for another topic because there is a
Yeah.
mental health issue out there that I also
Yes.
feel that it also goes into it. But I definitely think we need to broach that for the next subject because there is a mental health side, especially within the Black community, that we do not address, especially when it goes back into this anti-science, anti-medicine, anti-intellectual movement. Especially,
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of the Southern Church has influenced a lot of that too. But yeah, we're gonna say this for a different. Yeah, we're gonna say this for another episode. I think we just got fuel for our next one. Y'all
Uh,
definitely going to want to tune in for this next episode because we're going to really start broaching those Black subjects that may have you going back and forth with your aunts and uncles at Thanksgiving.
we might get called out at the Thanksgiving table.
Oh, I'm ready for it. I like confrontation.
I want the smoke. Bring it. With all that we've talked about Nelly, I've concluded, and I hope the jury will agree with me.
All right, let's see.
Nelly is a bum.
Uh,
He a bum.
uh.
Hey, I appreciate the hits that you gave us. You gave us Hot in Here. You gave us Grill. You gave us Tip Drill. I was not supposed to know
He
what that
really gave
song
us
was
tip
as a
drill because
kid.
BET Uncut was my thing.
Man, you played a pivotal role in hip hop, and I
You
will
played a pivotal
always
role in
make.
all of our development.
Yeah, I will give credit where it's due. You played a pivotal role in hip hop. You played a wonderful role in shaping the lives of people in the music industry and whatnot. You have done so much for St. Louis. I will always give you credit for that.
I wouldn't be
Absolutely.
stomping in my Air Force Ones without you.
Nelly, I banish you to the Phantom Zone for 30 years. Do not come back until you get your act right.
Bro, he in his 50s. Though.
Probably-
You
and
said
you
him
know
away
what?
for a long time. Bro, in his 50s,
And you know what?
G.
That's gonna make him dig in his heels like, how dare you send me to the Phantom Zone? How dare you send me to the Shadow Realm?
Oh, I don't know why you
Hey.
lying. He in St. Louis. He already in the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, he's been convicted. The jury has spoken. I wish I had a gavel for this moment. You know what? Let's go ahead and wrap this up. This concludes episode 3 of the Porch Light Theory. Big
Threes in the chat.
Big threes in the chat. Hey, if you made it all the way to the end, go ahead and give us some, throw us some W's, all right, in the comment
Hey,
section.
guys.
Whether on YouTube, throw some W's in our Instagram pages. Like, send us a W if you made it all the way this far. I appreciate
Look,
that.
Let me do the obligatory YouTube sign off that every influencer does.
Yeah.
Hey guys, thank you for your time. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. If you love the channel, go ahead and push it into every single person you know. Thank you for your time. This is Tristan. I'm Nick B. And thank you for your time. This is the Porch Light Theory. And thank you for pulling up a chair.
Hey,
That
I want to
was
remind you
terrible.
again.
That was fucking
I want to remind y'all
terrible.
again, rate the show, leave a review, subscribe to it, because people like you will help others find this podcast, and we want our presence to be felt, okay? Thank you for pulling up a chair to this Porch Light Theory session. Episode 3 is complete. Episode 4, that's going to be on the way, y'all. Peace.